Hello again. Something which I'm sure that viewers in Britain have noticed is the depressing regularity with which initiatives designed to curb illegal immigration to this country are frustrated by legal challenges which tie up the whole process for years until it is eventually abandoned. Last autumn, for example, 37 Jamaicans who were in Britain illegally were about to be deported. They included a murderer and a couple of child molesters. 24 hours before the flight took off, there was a flurry of legal challenges and applications to the High Court, with the result that when the aeroplane finally took off, it contained not 37 people, but just 4. The other 33 are still living happily in this country, despite being here illegally. What I have been wondering lately is who is paying for all this kind of thing? Mounting a challenge in the High Court and applying for judicial reviews are all hugely expensive operations, certainly beyond my financial reach. How is it that so many illegal immigrants, refugees and asylum seekers seem to have the money for such things? In the description to this video, I give a link to another such case, that of some illegal immigrants whose mobile phones were examined by the Home Office with a view to tracking down people smugglers. Just to remind viewers, entering this country illegally without going through passport control and customs is a criminal offence. Those landing on the beaches of Kent are criminals, and they were being investigated as such by the police and Home Office. They were criminals who were being investigated to see whether or not their confederates and those who had organised their criminal activity could be identified with a view to prosecution. It's a perfectly legitimate procedure. Lo and behold, a group of these people launched a judicial review, claiming that because their phones had been taken, they were unable to contact their families or lawyers as part of their asylum applications. Does anybody have any idea how much it costs to apply for a judicial review? Also in the description to this video, I give a link to a law firm which advises people about that. In other words, what sort of costs they're looking at if they wish to undertake this legal procedure. The bottom line is that you will need about £10,000 just to get the ball rolling. I will tell you freely that I do not have that amount of money lying around myself to gamble on such an enterprise, and nor, I suspect, do most people watching this video. Here is a question. Where did a bunch of illegal immigrants who have just arrived in this country get £10,000 to apply for a judicial review? They are, after all, staying in hotels at our expense, eating takeaways, which we also pay for. Where did that £10,000 come from? Needless to say, the Home Office has, as a result of this court case, promised not to look at the data on any of the phones of any more of those who have entered our country illegally. They accept it was wrong of them to try and find out about this criminal activity. Then there was the libel action taken in the High Court by a Syrian teenager who claimed that his character had been defamed by Tommy Robinson of the English Defence League. Now, I could not possibly afford to sue anybody for libel. It's an horrifically expensive undertaking. Yet the teenage Syrian schoolboy managed easily enough and was awarded £100,000 in damages. Not only that, but according to a newspaper report to which I also give a link, as well as the £100,000 in damages, Tommy Robinson also owes an estimated £1.5 million in costs to the boys' legal team. £1.5 million in costs to the boys' legal team. How did this teenage refugee even acquire a legal team? Did he actually pay them £1.5 million? If not, who did? It seems to me that there's a very profitable industry here which entails millions of pounds being paid to start libel actions, judicial reviews, high court action, and I don't know what all else on behalf of penniless refugees, asylum seekers and illegal immigrants. Where does this money come from? Who is financing all these challenges, the result of which always seems to be to prevent our removing any of these freeloaders from this country, or even investigating how they got here in the first place? I would be interested to know if any viewers can shed light on this, because somebody must be bankrolling all these various enterprises.